Yesterday, Marwa posted in his community post that the sponsor who was sponsoring Brian's education has withdrawn. And today I'm going to give us a deep analysis why the sponsor withdrawn. And I'm going to discuss why Marwa's channel has become pay-per-view emotions and how begging became the business model. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this amazing YouTube channel that goes by the name Maxwell Lumumba Africa. Maxwell Lumumba is my name, a village content creator, born and raised in a village setup with no jobs, no lands, but at the end of the day, we have to survive, and our sustainability actually is through content creation. Having said that, for those who are coming across this YouTube channel for the first time, make sure that you subscribe, like, comment, and share this video to other individuals. And remember to turn on the notification bell so that any day, anytime I post any video, you people get updated. Watch these videos till the end and don't skip any ads. Having said that, I also have another YouTube channel that goes by the name Vibe with Lumumba, where basically I post videos on lifestyle and village vlogs. For those who likes video about village vlogs, lifestyle, there is a channel for you. The spelling of Lumumba is the same spelling as it is in this YouTube channel. Let me be very clear from the beginning. Today's video or today's analysis, this is not hate, this is not jealousy, this is analysis. I run a people's view channel. I analyze patterns, I analyze behaviors, and I analyze incentives. And today, I want to break down step by step how a channel that was once inspired people has slowly transformed into what I call emotional pay-per-view. Let me start with what happened yesterday. Marwa posted in a community post that a WhatsApp, actually it was our WhatsApp chat was shared. The sponsor said, "Times are difficult now. I can't continue sponsoring Brian like before." To me, that message says one thing very clearly. The sponsor has begun to wake up. This was not sudden. This was not random. This was accumulated fatigue. Adonna pulled out from taking Brian to school. That is a serious decision. Donors don't just wake up and leave. They leave when pattern no longer sit right. I don't know the reason why Marwa himself brought up that message about the dawn and posted us. To me, it is not something good. Some issues like those ones are supposed to be kept private. A lot of people commented about that, and I'll be even saying how people were saying when I proceed. Having said that, let me add this, what I think, and I'll be actually bringing it again. Yes, Brian had a sponsor, and sponsor himself took that responsibility that he'll be helping Brian. And Marwa still, when Brian was going to school, we were hearing that Marwa is saying that Brian is going back to school if you want to help these, if you want to do these, yeah? So that means that even the sponsor was being belittled, because it is my responsibility. I've said I'll be sponsoring that individual. Why do you still come on camera, tell us that Brian needs this? That is exposure. So I'll be tackling that deeply. So let me start by saying something about the begging loop. What happens immediately after? The camera came on because in yesterday's video again, Marwa came up on camera, and now the message is Brian needs $200 per month or $50 per week, or else school stops. Not once, not twice, but repeatedly. In yesterday's video alone, the begging was done about 5 times. This is important. This is not an update. This is pressure through repetition. Let me say something about pay-per-view emotions. Here's where the model changes. The content is no longer free. People must pay to watch. This is no longer YouTube in the traditional sense. This is pay-per-views television. You know, for those who come from America, you have to pay so that you watch, maybe. You have to pay to watch a TV. And yet, inside that paid content, subscribers are still told to, someone needs school fees, someone needs medical help, someone needs machines, someone needs donations. So let us be honest. People are paying to watch, and they are being emotionally pressured to give more. That is why I call it emotional hostage taking. Let me say something like emotional scamming without saying beggings. Sometimes I usually tell people that even me, I have to acknowledge sometimes I beg. But the extent at which some people are begging is now becoming too much. Because if you don't have something, you have to beg. But don't bring that begging constantly. So that is what we call emotional scamming. Here the clever part. He says, I am begging you. Instead, he says, if this doesn't happen, this child won't go to school. That shifts the burden. Now, if you don't give, you feel responsibly. That is not transparency. That is emotional manipulation. This is begging without calling it begging. And when it happens in every video, it becomes a business model, not charity anymore. Let me talk about the machines. Fact versus reality. Because I'm a Kenyan, I come from Kenya, I'm a villager, I understand animal. Now, let's talk about the machines he mentioned. Machine 1, pregnancy scanner for horses. This is veterinary ultrasound machine used by licensed veterinarians, requires training, cost thousands of dollars, and not a farm level tool. Even though we have been having, I personally have visited farms having actually ultrasound, and I've gone there, I've done the ultrasonography to some of the animals. Yeah, I have to acknowledge that I'm one of the expertise when it comes to ultrasound issues. So, and I know how these ultrasound is. So you want to tell me that Marwa needs an ultrasound to be on the farm level? I'll be discussing about that. Let me mention machine number 2. Body scanner for injuries. That's essential diagnostic imaging, X-ray or advanced ultrasound. Again, veterinary level, clinical setting, not for casual village use. These are professional veterinary tools, not YouTube props. So the question is, Why is a content creator begging subscribers for clinical equipment? This one does not bring sense. Why do you need ultrasounds? For those who know the functionality about the ultrasound, how they do because actually the ultrasound, they have the probes, yeah? Because like we have probes that you can actually put per rectum, where you insert it through the rectal passage of the animal when you want to determine pregnancy diagnosis. We have others that you put on the skin, yeah? You shave some skin, then you just put on the surface, especially for the small animals. And you see if that animal is pregnant. So my very big question is, why is Marwa begging for clinical equipment? And yet we have places, we have vets around having ultrasound. Even it is more easier because ultrasound, when you have a lot of animals, it cannot cost you more than, and you know the trend of horse, you only have some small number of horses, yeah? So when you want to do pregnancy diagnosis for that number of horses, you don't really need to purchase your own ultrasound because it will be very expensive, because even when the vet comes, he'll still need transport to come there, and he will charge you the way he wants to charge. The way if he comes with his own ultrasound. That is how veterinary practice works. If you buy your own medicine, when somebody comes, when a veterinarian comes, he will charge you the same amount with your drugs, with not your drugs. Because one thing, the law of veterinary does not permit quackism. So anything when you buy your own drug, that is quack, being quack. So basically, Marwa is a quack. And I cannot withdraw that statement. I've seen your videos, buying medicines, and I don't know which that pharmacy or which agrovet sells for you the drug directly to the farmer without prescription, because in Kenya we have law how a farmer maybe wants to get veterinary drugs. You must be having a prescription from a veterinary surgeon, written, signed. Then when you go to an agrovet, you'll be given that drug. But what I see, what is happening on camera, is that even money is being used to suppress the professionals, and that is not acceptable. Let me talk about the demographic reality. Let us talk about the audience. The core demographic is, the audience are elderly people, mostly African origin, others Caribbean, and others even from the diaspora. And when it comes to years, they are 65 plus years and above. So that the people that we see on camera, that they are there as a keyboard warriors, some of them belong to the Minions, some of the cult members. The people like Jamaican Uncle, Trenchtown Grandpa, Jamaica Grandma, Chocolate Man, Janet Harris. These are emotionally invested elders. They are not venture we call them capitalists. They are pensioners, retirees, and caregivers, and yet they are the ones being told again and again that if they don't act, something bad will happen. The reason why I'm speaking very slowly is that we have to digest, analyze all this information that I'm giving out. So that is emotional leverage. Let me say this. Why the donor left? Donor leave for one reason: lack of trust in sustainability. when everything depends on drama, emergency, urgency, repetition, people eventually ask, why is this always happening? That's why the donor withdrew, not because they are evil, but because they saw the pattern. The pattern is there. I've even given an example. Already somebody has volunteered, but still, you bring the same individual who is being sponsored to the camera, then beg on behalf of that individual. Let me speak about the YouTube money question. Another YouTuber publicly said they make actually about 25,000 USD per month. That is roughly 3 million Kenyan shillings. And that was Dimwango. Let us be realistic. If someone is in the same bracket as Marwa, and even Marwa is above Dimwango because they're sister and brother, and Marwa started YouTube long time ago, even before Dimwango. Let us use that the same figure that Dimwango came on camera, say that she's getting like $25,000 per month. Let us times that with 12 months. That is 300,000 per year. That is nearly 40 million Kenyan shillings annually. Now ask yourself, no rent, no, actually he does not spend money for utility. So that means no rent, no electricity bills because he has solars. Water from the rivers and boreholes are there. No city expenses. So why is a millionaire begging daily? Because we have seen expensive horses, because it's the same person who comes on camera and say that we have purchased these horses for up to 10,000 USD each. And we can see more horses are being planned to be brought. We already have a Mercedes in the compound. We have Land Cruiser in the compound. Multiple land purchases. And yet, subscribers are told to fund school fees. That contradiction is impossibly to ignore. Let me say this. I have personally been contacted by 4 loyal subscribers. They told me this. They stopped watching Marwa. They felt manipulated. They felt drained. They felt used. They said these stopped being inspiration. It has become pressure. That is how cult dynamics collapses. Not through attacks, but through disillusionment. Let me say this. Somebody who started his channel from traveling commando to now a village beggar. People originally followed Marwa because of adventures, freedom, travel, discoveries. So what they see now is somebody walking, bisecting through the bushes, walking through the swampy places, crossing rivers, and daily begging, daily drama, daily financial talk. The brand changed. The audience didn't change. Like me, I had an audience that was watching me when I used to do animal video. They were very fantastic. They could watch, they could give me their opinion. but it was becoming expensive on my side because I was the only one sponsoring myself. I was providing transport to go film those videos, ask for permission, do this. I was actually training the audience on how to work with animals. It reached a point I said enough is enough. And I changed to lifestyle videos. So when I changed to lifestyle video, I got a very big challenge because the audience did not change. So that means those audience that I was having by then, they started actually, my views dropped drastically because, you know, audiences look at the title and the thumbnail. When they see that this title is not clickable or it is not that much satisfying, let us not watch this video. And that is one of the reasons why Marwa's views have really gone down, because they believe that Marwa was a traveling commando. Now he has now become a village beggar. I sat down. I said to myself, I'm not going to do no more travel, because I was just there. Actually enticing people, giving them all the knowledge that I was having in this brain, and at the end of it, no gain. I was just losing. When you look at the expenditure, overweighs the outcome. I said it in yesterday's video. I used to work 2 months in order to get the 70 USD threshold, the 70 euro threshold, so that you can get paid. I said enough is enough, because when I work on my math and everything, I saw that I'm heading to a negative trajectory. And the way I said, I'm not Marwa's student. There is nowhere Marwa has helped me in my YouTube journey since I started. And after this video, I'm going to do another video about what Marwa was saying of having some classes, master classes, YouTube master classes. I'll be handling that issue deeply, analytic, because we have seen before he had some master class who has come back and gave a comment or a response about this was how the master class went and this is how I gained. I'll be handling that. Is another topic for today, but another time, not this time. Let me say this. This channel is no longer about content. It is about people's wallet. The way I said, even I personally beg. I have to say that. But the extent to which you beg is now becoming. So it is no longer YouTube. It is pay-per-view emotions. If Brian needs school and the channel earns millions, then the responsibility is not on pensioners. A millionaire should not hold subscribers emotionally hostage every single day, because he's one of the person who said that I am richer than the president of Kenya, and which is very true. I've done the arithmetics and we have seen that this guy gets 30 million per month. We have not added donations. We have not added some other things, you know, some logics, because everything has to be having logic. Because even when the donations are coming, some subscribers are saying that take these, give these out. And we have seen even that. Even about the cement issue, we saw that happening. And I did a video about that. So this man claims to be richer than the president, and still a millionaire comes and holds subscribers emotionally hostage every single day. Yeah, that is why donors left. That is why views are leaving. That is why the conversation matters. Let me say this. This is not hate. This is accountability. And accountability always feel like hate to those who benefit from silence. Goodbye.